Hi everyone. So just thought I'd come on and talk a little bit about what's going on. Lots and lots of things. Lots of things are happening, and they're all pretty good. They're a bit. It's pressure. Let's put it that way. There's a lot of pressure, but it's not bad pressure. One of the good things is like 3 of our books are about to be done. Sorry, I gotta. It's gonna be so awesome. I should have done that before I turned the camera on. Yeah, okay. So that's super exciting considering how long it's been taking me, and we're gonna. Oh, that's sad. Don't do that. Don't do that. Oh, that sucked. Where'd they go? Oh shit. So yeah, I mean, it's hard to even describe. Like, well, let's go area by area. That'll be in no particular order, because otherwise I'll start freaking out about. Can't really see my eyes, can you? Start freaking out about like what I should say first and how I should say it and blah blah blah. So we will just go with a random part of life. It's not really random. Well, okay. I guess the most important part for me is my spirituality is just like leaping and bounding, which is really, really awesome. I'm just kind of feeling very close to the universe. I mean, I can definitely be closer, and I'm working on that, but I am praying every night and morning, you know, which I say that I try to do, but I'm actually doing it. I'm doing some meditating, a lot of meditating, and so there's that, and with that comes this. Are you back? Are you back? With that comes this thing about the energies, right, that I've been talking about, and I kind of wanted to avoid talking about it here, because if I were not me and experiencing it and was just hearing someone talk about it, I'd be like, this person should go see somebody. But maybe not. Maybe I wouldn't be like that, but I'd have a big raised eyebrow about it. But it's happening. So, and it's a big deal in my life right now, so I don't see how I can avoid talking about it. But the reason I didn't want to talk about it is because I didn't want you to like look at that and be like, okay, well that's questionable, so everything she does is questionable. But my thing is radical authenticity, right? So here we go, radical authenticity. So yeah, I've mentioned this a couple of times that in the past several months, I've been experiencing some powers, like becoming a superhero or a supervillain, depending on which side you're on. And what it is that I've started seeing energies. So what happened was that over the I mean, I've mentioned this before, so we don't really have to go through it, but over the summer I broke up a bunch of energy, I broke up a bunch of tension in my body, and there was so much tension I had no idea that it was there. Broke it up physically, felt great, whatever. And I continued to meditate, and I started noticing, I had noticed this a little bit, I really should have written this down. I started noticing shapes and movement when I closed my eyes, and I was like, what the fuck is that? And it just turns out that these are energies leaving. They were energies leaving my body. My theory about it is that my breakthrough shook a few things loose, although no, my theory is that it started back when I loosened up all that tension, like, because tension is just stored energy, right? It really is. Tension is stored energy. So I broke it up, but it didn't escape my body. It was like stuck there. And these are all my theory, or these are all the samskaras that I've ever had, and there's 44 years of them, so there are a lot. So it started by like just kind of watching it. It was amazing. It was like, I wish I could show people, because it's just like shapes going and swimming, and like it's just incredible. I really wish that I could describe it better, but so at first I was able to get these things to come out of my body, and I could feel them coming out, right? And I know that sounds weird, but they're like, yeah, just like energy. I've been calling them energy bodies, and they would just leave, and I would watch, and they obeyed my thoughts. Like, okay, this is interesting. There's a whole like long, I'm not going to go into how I discovered all this stuff, but this is what the end result of my discovering, my exploring what is. So at first that was it. I was just getting rid of all this. I was like, oh my God, this feels great, and I can't wait to be done, like getting rid of all of this, because like then it'll just be me, and that'll be awesome. And I got rid of them to the point where there were still some in there that they were stuck. And well, just before that, I was getting rid of some of these that were coming out of my body, and what started happening is that my theory. All right, I'll tell you what the measurable result was. As I was getting rid of these, I know it's weird. I could very much feel that they weren't going far. They were staying around. I could feel them, and when they got to be like, when they backed up and I was trying to get rid of something, it wouldn't go, because these energies were still out here, and they were getting trapped around me, and it was really frustrating. And eventually I was able to figure out a way to let that go. So I got to the point where the ones that are left are stuck, and I actually have gotten rid of all of those. Now, how did I do that? Yeah, that was tough. Yeah, because cutting them, like dissolving them, I've been looking at. You don't need to know that part. So now there's just one, but it is in every part of my body down to the tips of my toes. I know, it's weird. I'm gonna stop saying that now. So I'm working on releasing that, and I don't know what's gonna happen then. Either there'll be another layer that I have to work with, or I'm going to become, I don't know, Superman. So there's that's happening, which is a big deal in my life right now. And I've been, so I love tarot. I have a couple of decks, but, well, 3 decks, 2 that I love and 1 that I wish I hadn't bought, but, one in particular is like, we're bonded. We love each other. But to me, it's, I mean, like, I see these energies, right? They're all over the place, but there's no denying whatsoever, denying that energies not only exist, but play a part, have a physical presence, but at the same time are on the quantum level. But, so, doing the tarot, you're mixing the deck up or whatever, you're asking a question, you pull a card, or you do a reading, whatever, and this deck is like, we're like this. Like it knows everything about me, and it's just amazing. So I've been asking questions, and the answers that I've gotten have pretty much amounted to things are coming to a head, but it's good. If you take action, everything's gonna be fucking fantastic. And, you know, like, this is the end of a journey. Like, it's just, everything's coming up roses in my tarot, my tarot cards. So it's exciting. So there's that. The living situation. I have to leave here by March 31st. And I don't know where I'm going, which freaks me out a little bit. But I'm handling that. Because I'm again, with spirituality, I'm learning to surrender, right? So I'm surrendering my will and my old ideas to the universe, and just allowing her to take the wheel, because I don't do a good job when I'm at the wheel. So might as well let her do it. And it's an interesting thing. I mean, again, I don't know why it's disconnecting and then reconnecting, but whatever. In the past several months, I lost my train of thought. We're talking about leaving the house. Oh, surrender. Past several months, like since spring or early summer, I've been getting a lot of signs in my life. I mean, I know, here's the thing. I'm not someone who would say this stuff, except that it's happening. So, it's just kind of like, what the fuck? But I've been getting many signals showing me that I can trust, the universe. And I mean, it's been that's a lie. It has been for a long time, ever since I started coming out of the depression and, surrendering the way that I could, you know what I mean? And there's always a next layer, a next level of surrender, right? But it's just showed me again and again and again and again that it'll take care of me, that I'm okay. If I just let go and let God, she'll take care of things. So, and even if it's not the way I want, right? Even if it ends up stressing me out, because that whole breakthrough thing happened because I was like, oh, I know that she wants me down in Florida, so I'm gonna go down there without a way to get back or a place to stay. I had a place to stay. I just didn't have a way to pay for it. Anyway, it ended up working out in a sort of way, but it was so stressful. The whole breakthrough thing happened, and if you want to know about that, that's back in October, the end of October. It's interesting. But she's shown me like each one. So like it seemed like I went to Florida knowing that I had a client who was going to be paying a certain amount of money in the next couple days, and I'm thinking that's what I'll use to pay for the hotel. And I thought that's just a long story. I got there and it was this clusterfuck shit show that happened. Like, and it's all stuff that I set up to be like not intentionally, but like one thing after another, with just things were just exploding. It was chaos. And I was like, why is she doing this to me? I thought I was doing what she wanted. But she was just putting the pressure on, putting the gas on, and turning up the heat. And you know what happened after that happened, and it was hard, but I went through it, and I'm good. Better than I have been in a very long time. Oh, I'm better every day. Thank God. And so she's been showing me again and again and again since over 2 years now, that I can trust. So I'm trusting her about the housing situation. I said, you know, I've been talking to her and like, I can't believe this is becoming about spirituality. Like, it's great. Personal development. You know what though? Personal development The further you can't avoid the spiritual aspect of it. When you start developing yourself personally, it necessarily goes into spirituality if you go deep enough. Like it has to. So I guess that's what this is becoming about. Both my personal and my spiritual journey. So it is pretty amazing though. So my thought, you know, I've been saying, okay, universe, you know, do what you're gonna do. I trust you. I know, I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna end up homeless. You know, there are places I can go. So I know that I'm gonna be okay wherever I end up. And while I do have a preference, like, I know that whatever it is that happens will only lead to good. It's only for good. So even if it's something I really don't want, it is a stepping stone to something greater. Or at least it is for the best. Let's just put it that way. But I've also been like, okay, so that said, what I would like is to find a multifamily property, a rental property that I can buy through seller financing or subject to existing mortgage or I don't think I can take over a mortgage. I don't know. We'll see. You know, so the universe knows my current financial situation. I'm gonna have to explain it to her. She gets it. And I don't even have to think about the financing. All I have to do is keep in my mind what I want, and you know, just, you know, hey, this would be great. If this is the way you want to go, this is what I would prefer, but whatever you want is fine. But so that's what I'm looking forward to. So I'm also doing manifesting, right? Great book is Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself by Dr. Joe Dispenza, and it's about rewiring. You know what I mean? Like you are where you are. You're who you are because of the habitual thought patterns, and behavior patterns that you've built up. And it's about breaking those and establishing new ones. But he goes into science of it, and he goes, necessarily, science honestly goes into spiritualism. It really does. Excuse me. Science is just the way God works. It's the study of God, right? I mean, it's fantastic. It's amazing. So I highly recommend that book. And one of the things about it is manifesting, right? So there's the Secret, and that was very popular. And I don't know. It's kind of like what's a good analysis? A good analogy. It's not like the Dr. Phil of doctors or Dr. Oz of doctors, because it's good. It's good. It's just kind of like it's the commercial version of it, I guess. I don't know. It's like the Hallmark card version. I don't know. Anyway, looking into manifesting what you want in your life, surrendering to the divine will, but also like, hey, if you don't have anything else to do, there's no other plan. You could. This is what I would like. But whatever. And that's what I would like. And yeah, so really manifesting is like about visualizing it and seeing it as yours, being grateful for it already. So I'm doing what I can there. I'm doing a lot of that. It's not easy when you're coming from a different mindset. You know, I mean, believing in abundance is really, really hard when you've been living in scarcity for a very long time. But I really feel like a card I drew the other day was just like, this is the end of a journey. Like, it's like graduation. It's like, it's a great thing, basically. It's it's the culmination of whatever work you've been doing. So something's coming soon. And I feel like there's a lot, because there's this housing thing, right? There are the books that are being done. What else is it? Oh, I'm marrying myself. 3 weeks. Well, 2.5. I'm doing that in March. And so there's like that big ceremony that, you know, like starts a new, and I'm gonna cut my hair. There's gonna be like a whole series of like exciting things happening very shortly, starting tomorrow, because like tomorrow I'm gonna finish that book, and then Thursday I'm gonna finish the other book, and then there's more books to finish, and they're close to be done, but those are the 2 books that are like so close to being done. So I don't know what else I'm saying here. I'm just saying that like this seems to be all happening because I've been very devoted to developing myself. And recently the whole self-love thing has been happening, which is fantastic. That is also, you know, the marriage thing. That's why I'm marrying myself, to show the world that I love myself. I drew up a marriage contract, which I personally think is very good. I don't know that a lawyer would approve it, but it's good for me. And we're gonna, yeah, I'm gonna call. But then there's the utility bills. I gotta call them. Another place about, that's fine. That's fine. The utility bills, I will, you know what? I can do the same thing with the utility bills. Whatever you want, God. Just don't turn off the electricity. That's the thing. But yeah, I gotta get that taken care of this week. As soon as I get money, I can put some money towards it. But yeah, but I mean, it just seems like there's just a lot. Anyway, I believe that this is all coming up because I've been devoting myself to my personal development, and I just want to encourage you guys out there that if you start on the path, you start doing the work. That's great. It's nice, huh? Really cool. If you start doing the work, you start working on yourself, and you start being honest with yourself, and you start realizing there are other ways to handle your emotions and your thoughts. The road is hard. It's hard. It's work. It is work. I mean, it's hard. It's work, and it takes a long time. It doesn't happen overnight. But if you do it and you commit yourself to it, and you keep going, you'll be rewarded. It'll be like things will get better, and you'll see it immediately. So you don't have to wait till like for 2 years for everything to go. Psh, it happens slowly, right? So you start seeing improvements immediately, and it takes. I also wanted to point out too that when I first started, like the idea can be symbolized or can be demonstrated by this. So when listening to Michael Singer, as I do, at one point in listening, and he's like, this is something you do every day. This is now the purpose of your life. Like, you have to do this every minute of every day. And it's like, you know, so it took me a while to warm up to that idea. But after you start doing it, after you start doing these things, you don't see why you wouldn't want to. But that does take a while to get, well, for me, okay, only speak for myself, it might happen overnight. Some people have a spiritual awakening and it's like, boom, like that, right? So we'll see. But yeah, so for me, it's taken a couple of years. And it's not like it's gonna end. It's certainly not. It's just, there's a milestone coming up. There's a coming up that's gonna be like, whoa! and then it's gonna go on from there. You know what I mean? It'll just be a different phase. Just really. Sorry, there's just like that energy case. Everything is attached to my vocal box, my third chakra. It's all, that's where it all came from. It's like trying to peel it away. It's still, I mean, there's still a lot there, but I got rid of a lot of it. But see, it's interesting. You have the energy of base thought. And if I think, a lot of times what you know what, I'm just kind of babbling now. No, I'm not babbling. It's interesting. I find it interesting, but it's probably not useful. So I'm going to stop there and just say that I'm really grateful for everything. And I want to remind you guys that you too can always choose to have a grateful night